get into this one. I am very excited to see how this goes. Best of one between these two big doggy dogs of the T2 circuit. GK, of course, being the reigning king in terms of the champions on those 3 main circuit tournaments. PNH, the close prince at their heels, nipping at them ever more, waiting for the king to die so they can take the throne themselves. Let's see how this goes. Again, it's a really good map. Statistically, for PNH, it is one of their best maps. It's one that they're very, very comfortable on. So we do expect them to bring gold dust here.
Let us see how this indeed will play out then. This might be the opportunity to beat GK, considering they are playing with that sub. Set 4, like they've never been able to beat GK. This will be an opportunity. Although, would you really count it if they do beat them eventually? Like as a full credit? Considering they are playing with sub. It's a question for you guys. Okay, cool.
It depends. That was my answer. Minecraft villager sound.
Reinforcing wall.
Other games are available. The fact is like Lonely themselves is like a very good and competent sub for the side of GK. Knows the guys, should be able to sort in very well. But for PNH, it's just going to be about. I'd say it'd be more embarrassing for PNH if they don't win because of the fact that they've come so close to it before. They have come so close. They know this is their main nemesis. If you're playing your number 1 nemesis in the T2 circuit with a substitute kind of coming in, and you're still not able to beat them, you might be kicking yourself a little bit. So I think PNH will be very happy if they can do it here because it saves them the kind of embarrassment factor, I suppose.
So you just straight up go into shaming them into embarrassment if they don't win this one. You know,
he'll be there with a little bell, like shame.
Execute,
shame.
by the way.
Ooh.
Plans coming in already. There you go. Pack bulls in, flashes, smokes, everything on the board. Lonely, Kano, both picking up kills, and GK 45 seconds counting in their favor. Now that is what I call a very quick push execute to be coming through here. However, back to a 3-on-2. Still in favor of GK. They're outside the building as well, forcing basically one of these players to be jumping out of the window if they want to get a good opportunity of securing a round win. One still down behind the Destiny now, exactly now, but caught with the Kiba in hand. Packbull finding the last 2 kills. I don't know what this means. Bunch of fives.
High five. I'm pretty sure.
High
they
five,
do it all
okay.
the time. Yeah, they do it. So every T2 tournament that's happened this year, and every tournament GK's been in, end of round, regardless of whether they lose or win, the 5s get spammed in chat. Which I have been told that it's a high 5 thing, like if they were at a LAN, for example, it's the moment that they'd be like fist bumping each other, right? But
Yeah,
instead it's kind of been an online way of doing that, I suppose. It's what I've been told. Allegedly. I mean,
Allegedly, I find
like,
it very sus.
It's one of those. It's one of those like myths and legends of Siege at this point.
Oh yeah.
It's like people have different opinions on it. You can ask different teams,
So like
different
Siege
players.
folklore.
Yeah, basically it's Siege folklore. Like you can ask different players what it means, and they'll give you like different answers.
About
So,
100 years, we're gonna get the
most
fairy
common
tale
one-
5.
The most common one is that it is indeed a high 5, like fist bump thing. So,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure like another team was trying to put like 6-7 in chat to kind of
To count with them.
to counter
6,
to
7,
counter it by being like 6-7. They also it's like the joke of, like never mind. I'm not even gonna try to explain 6-7 to you.
See, I see this everywhere and I just don't understand.
It's okay. We'll get you a nice blanket and a hot chocolate after.
It's like someone needs to explain to me. I feel like I'm a boomer. It's like I just don't know what it means.
GK
Like,
winning that
get this guy
round.
to say 6-7. Ha ha ha.
GK winning round number 1 is a great start, though. Again, a little bit. We spoke about whether that be embarrassing or not for PNH. They can brush themselves off. It's only 1 round, but they need to be careful here. I think the lovely thing sometimes when you're playing with a sub is the fact that it does take a fair bit of pressure off you as well, right? It does take a fair bit of pressure off you. You don't have to deep things as much. The sub can go for some more obtuse plays as well. You're just kind of fitting into that default style, but you do get to play a bit more around whether you want to be aggressive or passive to help everyone. Ooh. Oh. Beautiful pick there. Lambe falling to the hands of Packball.
I was gonna say, like, the man is just repelled up in the middle of the room. He knows he's there, he's just trying to find a kill, but again, we find 2 very quick entry kills here in favor of GK. So even though they're playing with a substitute, that doesn't seem to be halting them in these initial phases of the round. As their opponents struggling slightly. The tag is coming through from the def mark. Where the fact that Castle is laying inside of the garage, that might actually allow them, especially with this man advantage they have, to approach garage from 2 different sides. As Lolny finds a beautiful headshot, brings it to a 5-on-2, and with the way how this first round went and how the second round is currently going, like, this might just be a very quick first half to come through.
Yeah, it's mental right now. Really makes Panahone look a little bit lost on, again, what is statistically a very good map for them. Kind of allowing themselves to be caught off guard here and everywhere. Toxic Babe's going out, of course, but there's only so much that Util can do when there's 40 seconds still left to go. Nifsu holding from the back here. Holding at the bottom of that main stairs. But things are going to start flooding in from this server side. So much utility that can be used here. And Packball going into open could apply more pressure on those hatches. And even drop down if he wants to.
Oh! Could have been a flawless round, but instead just a single kill to go away. GK, again, standing on business here. Very quick 2 entries coming through. Quickly resulted in a round win as well. Again, the many fights. And Monzi.gk, I think it's a different game. Is it a Counter-Strike player, Monzi?
I do not know enough about that game. I am exclusively TJX.
Oh yes, Monzi is indeed a Counter-Strike player. Born in 2005. That makes me feel old.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Deploying jammer.
I do
He's
feel
called
like
the baby goat.
Aww.
Yeah. Sorry.
See, that implies wholesome images, but I'm assuming that he plays a little bit nasty, actually. It's really lovely, actually, to see that GK have got to come in without Hungry, and it's going really well for them against Panahone, who want everything in the world to just beat up GK at all times. And now we're on, again, Panahone's, like, most preferred map. It's not going great for them. I am slightly concerned. They're mixing things up somewhat. We have Lambe going on to the Scopos. Pantheon Chill will give a lot of flexibility of that movement as well. Lambe can try to at least get one little opener and then immediately rotate away. That might change the pacing somewhat, but they have just been so clinical the whole way through. The whole way through this year so far, I don't think it's going to change much. And again, you're just changing out one player. It's not the end of the world.
I mean, this probably all comes back from, like, EMLCS, right? Where they weren't able to get the qualification to the main league, to the EML. They probably took that, like, very personal. Like, everybody was expecting them to make it, and they didn't. So they have to be clinical, they have to be perfect, they have to show that they are worth being an EML, because that's what they're working towards this entire year. That's the goal.
I think that's the frustrating factor sometimes is like there are a lot of these rosters that could be in the bottom of EML. Of course, we won't really find out until we see kind of CS on the horizon. Ooh, Packful. Dealing with Lambe. Lovely little angle with the pistol. That's a little bit BM. That's a little bit cheeky. That's a little bit naughty. That should not have happened, Hap.
No, he just stuck around too long, Lambert. Like, he wasn't aware of the fact that top of square was already being accessed, and that he was kind of, you know, vulnerable from that side. If a shield comes in, he could just freely just face check, and if you see someone, well, you can just ADS. that shield doesn't have that much risk when it's walking around top square. Only real risk would be a nitro cell to fly up. So again, the entry's there, but important thing to note, it took a long time. There's just a minute left on the clock now in which they need to find the remaining players, and Packbull just walks into 2 separate ones, but only finds one. It'll be a trait to come through onto Kano. We'll at least keep this into a 3-on-3 stage. And this is still being around on the main stairs. It's gonna be making sure that people are not going to be able to use tellers to the extent that they might want to go for. That is very unfortunate timing for Skyper there, because someone just walked in underneath his crosshairs as soon as he went off. And as the opening will be made on the quad wall, we already saw the other wall to be opened up earlier. Pre-fire will be a beautiful headshot. There's someone else still out there as the plant is being attempted. Is the cover on point is the big question. It's up to Rexon now. One will be found. The second one is close around that corner. Actually, no, that was the Scopal shell. Is lolling that will find Nifsu. And another round for GK. This one was a bit hard fought. They had the entry, but it took a long time. But they were able to continue it onwards from there and drag it across the finish line.
But it's just little things again. Skipper just suddenly swinging so aggressively around that corner and getting that pay like that. Like, it's just gross. Like, it's just the way that GK play is so gross. I love it. Like, it's actually my favorite thing. Phenomenal so far. No time up being called by Panahorne. 3 rounds in a row. Final ban coming out. Got rid of that castle. Castle on bank. Very much needed at times. You've removed that little safety net from the pockets of Panahorne. It's going to make that top floor play a lot different. It's going to make the open area holds and the extensions you can do there a lot different. It's going to remove the even... I doubt they'd use it in basement, but again, it does remove the chance of that as well. So, it's nice to see. The Ying being banned out from Panahorne, I don't think that was the issue, my guys. I don't think that was the issue. Safety first, though, at least, getting rid of those candelas. No one likes to be bombarded by a mountain of flash utility, do they?
Depends. I'm not shaming if people like that. Some people just like white lights, I guess, in their faces. But I'm not sure if it will be that helpful for them. You mentioned it just now, like, was that the problem? But if you will be asking what the problem was, then what was the problem if it wasn't Ying? Because it's just all the different players, all the different operators doing their thing. I don't think you can necessarily bring it back down to just a single operator.
This is where Panahorne need to be really careful. They've got a slight extension going on where we're having Halber kind of play around the blue stairs area. Lots of people are kind of using that blue stairs hold again. You know, a lot of Ella work has been happening there. A lot of smoke has been happening there. Obviously, the Kiva barriers may be a benefit there as well, because you can try and duck down. You can maybe plug the hatches as they get open. You can plug the doorway itself at the top of blue. Of course, Nifsu hanging around open area can also be a little bit of added aid as well if you need it. If people start stacking up around that door, maybe he can rotate towards kitchen. Never mind, he's dropped down already. So again, Panahorne just giving up a lot of space to the side of Gike. With Gike not really having to do much about it other than just be present in the server.
I mean, again, there's no real pressure for this entire matchup either. Of course, they are rivals, but it isn't a knockout match yet. They're playing the seeding games right now. Which might just also be partially of the cause why Panahorne isn't quite showing up as we're expected of them. Some players just play better when the pressure's on. It's some kind of psychological thing. As the smokes are about to come through, and that would indicate the start of this rush. The minute left on the clock. Rexon could be the very first in. He's just waiting for it. They know of the fact that there's a yokai drone down there. And they need to make a move happen soon, because again, 55 seconds, all 10 players live, the smoke canisters are dropping, and so is Rexon. He's inside the glass, trying to put up some pressure as Kano dropped in from the elevator. Will find 1 kill for their efforts, and there is the hunt onto the Echo, onto the Yokais. Found as well, gives him the opportunity to go for a plant, but the big problem is, everybody is in the middle of this site, and the diffuser has been dropped in the red hallway, as we're now into a 3-on-3, 30-second situation where it's still up for both these teams to win, but GK need to make the next move as they find yet another kill. Rastin will go down by the hands of Glass, and they are aware of the fact that one is in garage. They're aware of the fact that one is in servers. They just need to find themselves a way to secure this diffuser, to just find these people. Lambe coming around the corner, found by Kano somehow. 7 seconds, the time is ticking, but Skyper will find the very final one. The 5s once more in the chat. But that came down to the very last couple seconds.
It's just freezing. It's freezing once again from GK. 4-0 now, Hap. 4-0. No time up being called by Panahorne either.
I get why you said Monesy now. Monesy was an AWPer, and Skyper was playing around on the glass.
Ah.
Which is the sniper.
The more you know.
There you go. Or Monesy is an AWPer, not was.
This is just so gross from GK. Like, I can't even get over it. They have been insane. They have been so good this year. The fact that, yes, it's like they're getting... They want to enter, basically, Challenger Series in the long run to get that EML spot, but they're doing it through the Saudi E-League, right? They're not actually doing it through these tournaments. They are literally just here for the prize money and to have a pop, essentially. To do their jobs as effectively as they can, and that is indeed what they have done. They have been insane, and there was a little bit of hesitance actually at the start of September, because I was like, okay, they're playing all of these games all of the time, back to back to back. There was a big question mark above everyone's heads as to whether, you know, burnout may start being a factor with DK. And they've kind of squashed those rumors. They've squashed those opinions. Granted, maybe that's why we're seeing them kind of play around a bit more with subs at times. You know, even, you know, Eagles kind of lurking in the roster for this season as well. Which is very exciting. Eagle was absolutely phenomenal during the Combine Final as well. Just want to note that. And it's going to be very exciting to see them kind of play around more with the roster, I guess, and if people can't do certain things, having kind of those super subs come in where nothing is really being too impacted. I mean, they had Pengu at Combine Final, for goodness sake.
Throwing grenade.
They have a lot of subs available too. But I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, the Tier 2 calendar is way more filled than the Tier 1 calendar would be. For a lot of teams, that is. So, like, yeah, they will be playing a lot of tournaments, and that also means you might need a sub every now and then, because, you know, these players, they all have, you know, their day jobs as well. You can't always just get those days off from that job. And as Lambe will find a first kill onto Lonely, that is actually the first time I believe that Panahorne is able to find themselves the entry kill in this matchup, but Nisu traded very quickly afterwards with the incendiaries. And it's going to be quite painful, as they had it for a moment, just slipped away right now.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Of course, his mute jammers will still be out and about, but you've lost that shotgun, you've lost the SMG-11, you've lost those really nice bits of gun utility to have for those final moments of the round. Nick, of course, is still on the Clash, so there is a lot of work that can be done with him, especially playing on the hallway with that utility. Because it is now way more flexible nowadays. Ability to plonk it down. Play around it a little bit freaky-deaky should you wish. DK, they're prodding these holes in, and this is the thing, it's something they do every round. It's finding those entries. You're waiting for everyone to get into place before you actually commit to a push as well, and that's a really important thing. Wrexham has fallen into the hands of Halbert though, and this is a huge lifeline for the side of Panahorne. Not only do they have the play advantage, they have a lot of kit to hide around. The Alder in the hands of Rastin as well. The Clash being on the board. 2 Keybers in the pocket of Halbert. There's so many options they can utilize here, Hap.
For sure, as you see Skyper just deciding to walk by the Clash, find themselves another kill. The Clash behind them. I mean, they're aware, but there's 10 seconds. They just need to get a move on. They just need to continue. And one is right behind the long desk. The double kill comes in from the Ala. Where's the final player is the question. Is kind of up on the main stairs. Finds one for his efforts. Nothing more than that. As it gets shut down. The first round for Panahona finally on the board. So they found an entry. It's quickly traded, but they found a second one afterwards as well. At least that puts them on the board. It gives them a little bit of a lifeline for the future of this matchup.
Incredible. Again, it's such a... How to explain it? It's such a tiny lifeline on the bigger picture of things when I'd argue Panahone are actually really underperforming on this map. Yes, it's GK. But we've seen Panahone do insane stuff. Granted, I will argue, Panahone's attacks on Bank are some of my favourite attacks. That's something that's been consistent since the initial stages in Combine. We saw some really nice stuff coming out from Panahone throughout that entire tournament. And especially in terms of the attack. It's also Team SBL. Panahone and Team SBL stood out the most to me in terms of what they were doing on the Bank attacks. And I think that's going to be a nice thing to see. So don't count Panahone out just yet. If they're able to secure the 4-2 half at least, maybe that can be a little bit of a lifeline just because of how smooth sailing they are when it comes to these attacks. But GK are just playing so good. It's actually nuts. Like, you can see that they're not only, yes, reigning champions, but they're also very much fan favourites at home.
And the thing is as well, attack is more difficult than defense, usually. Them being up 4 rounds already with a sub is quite important to know. Usually subs will do better on the defense because it's just plug and play. Everybody knows what to do. Like, of course, there's some more roles that are more difficult than others, but attack is usually where it's more dynamic, where everything needs to be timed more, where it's more difficult to just plug in a substitute to fill a role. So if this goes to 5-1, I'm afraid we're seeing a very quick game coming through.
We'll see. I don't want to get too pessimistic because I do love Panahone way too much, but oh, there we go. How they're getting dealt with. Massive space being cleared there around the bottom of that skylight area. A little bit of contestation from Archive as well. Again, options right now for Geeky. I think they themselves are probably a bit confused at times. Like, okay, they're not really extending too much. They're just letting us kind of come to them. We have the util 9 times out of 10. It just turns into a shooting range for them. Again, waiting for everyone to be in position, dropping down, pinching at the right time. 3-2-1's absolutely on lock. We're most likely going to see it again. Oh, goodness me. Skyper on the glass, of course. Combined with that Blackbeard of Rexon potentially dropping from the back. Or, ooh, it looks like he might drop from open hatch, actually. That could be very nasty. They know they have the breathing space. There's no congestion coming from their 6, is there? It's free real estate.
Well, there's breathing space up until those smoke canisters start to pop. Remember, those are 45 seconds, and there's still going to be the canisters out there as well from the Goyo. It's going to be stopping them from effectively getting a plant in for at least another 30 seconds at the default place. That leaves 8 seconds. Then those 3 smoke canisters come in. So they need to come in, they need to kill Rastin, or they need to dig in deep. Otherwise, they're not going to get that plant down, Grace. So with these 28 seconds, yes, you have a man advantage, but there needs to be some hatch drops. The smoke canisters are at least coming in from either side. The time slowly still ticking down, 15 seconds on the board, as smoke canisters are placed all over the area. Plans happening as well from Packbull. I believe that might be, no, not in safe ground. He's actually forced to move into a new spot, and he goes down by the smoke and the fire, and that is the diffuser now dropped in the middle of the ground. Rexon forced to go for the plans with a single second left, and there's a yokai drone still up top that wins the round for Panahonu. The one thing that they didn't deal with, and it was the yokai drone and time running out.
Oh my goodness, by the skin of their teeth, Panahone securing that round just by the yokai drone existing. Oh my goodness. But at least that has secured them the 4-2. You know, we talked about how important it was, right? Not to have that 5-1. This gives them a little lifeline going on to a really lovely, hopefully, attacking half. Again, they're really, really good at focusing around the utility that they bring when it comes to these bank attacks. Let's see how it goes. But Geeky just so disgusting. Like I can't get over it sometimes. Like it almost does feel like pinch me moments at times, because this is also, again, I really want to emphasize this. This is Geeky who've been playing non-stop for months now. Non-stop every single night at points, especially around kind of August, September time. Pretty much playing every night. And I know a lot of T2 teams are doing that, right? But Geeky are also focused on other tournaments on the horizon for themselves in their own region. Like specifically in the MENA region. Then they're playing with a sub on top of that. Against a team who have been doing everything in their power for ages to try and beat Geeky. And this is Battlehornet's best, like one of their best maps. It's just, it really shows you the caliber of that team at this point. And a separate point maybe to make is, this is the beauty we get to see when we get a cheeky little bit of org investment at T2. You know, a lot of these rosters would have such a good time with some org backing and the kind of resources that can gain, and the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Geeky. It really is. Fully expecting them to be an EML next year.
New camera feed.
It would be weird if they weren't, right? Like
it will be baffling, so baffling
because of how well they've done in the tier 2 scene. If it's any other team that makes it, you just kind of ask questions like why, like how, what happened. But for now, this game is the first ahead of them. The MLCS will be later down the line. Well, actually, the focus of these matches. And the first 30 seconds passed. There was a couple of potential moments already where we saw a gunfight coming through, but not quite yet. And this is Panahone now on that attack, remember? They are the ones that have to put up the initiative here. It is GK. The defense is waiting to see where the push is coming from. And Isu, he's playing around with the fuse. Not an operator that you see a whole lot of, but it's mostly used to clear out utility. The Skyper goes down first by Hova, which is quite ironic considering it's the Glass player going down by Glass. Isu has the opportunity to follow in closely afterwards if Hova survives this. As he's being pre-fired right through the couch, but there he is. Cover coming through from the side of tellers. Openings will be made, but it's still a trading situation. It is no clear-cut Panahone round, for example, as we're in this 3-on-3 right now.
I think there as well is like Rexon getting punished for a little bit of the old tunnel vision, not realizing that the push was coming in from archives as well. The 3 versus 3 is still doable on both sides, and again, loads of utility in the hands of Panahone. They still got the Grim on the table. They got the Deimos, of course. That's going to be very useful. And of course, those cluster charges are so good at removing utility. So good at clearing yourself some spaces. They're still toxic babes, and both C4s still in play. So lots of denial with 40 seconds to go. UK, they have to land this util and they have to land it right.
36 second, still 2 smoke canisters, which means there's still 30 seconds of stall available to them. 2 nitrous cells as well. Might actually be more aimed at trying to get the nitrous cell kill in rather than the smoke, as Packbull finds one. Lambe now trying to play up above. He has a bit of tracks thanks to the bees. But now the big question is, Lambe, do you drop? Do you try and contest from the ground, or gonna be the plan as the next and last smoke canister comes out? A little bit of damage done. The nitro cell will be huge. There's a diffuser dropped on the ground. Lambe will be forced to actually go for it, and a second nitro pops. And GK 5-2.
To that match point. Again, that distance between them starting to get bigger again. Panahorne, they need to pull their socks up a little bit. Have we had a timeout? I don't believe we have.
Not in this game, no.
No. And again, you could argue the pressureless beat best of one. No one's going to be really using it. Slight bear bug of mine, though. Yes, it's the investigation stage, but you still want to be using everything you can. I do think Panahorne might just need a little bit of the old reset, really, right now. Big underperformance on their side. We look at some of these players. We look especially at the way that they've played recently. Insane stuff. From all of them. Again, really have been kind of one to watch in terms of what they can potentially do on the horizon. You know, especially looking at Rastin, especially looking at Nifsu. Lambe as well. Like, Lambe had a bit of a quiet one until that playoffs weekend in Rumble. But Lambe's been around the block for a while. Lambe used to play with Oscar. You know he's got that secret sauce. You know he can do it. Just again.
What's in the secret sauce?
Knowing the Finns, probably something very cursed and heavily salted.
Something very alcoholic. Oogies already going off, making hella bit of a noise, but also opening up the verticalities. Removing some of the destructible ingredients on the map as well. Scano holding tight, trying to play, trying to, you know, fight those out on the rappel outside. For now, it is GK holding on tight. As Lambe finds himself inside a stock. And that is a good position to take, because that's just been abandoned by Izami. And I'm not sure if Packball's fully aware of the fact that this has been taken by the side of Panahonu, because if he doesn't, it might be a free kill coming through, especially with all this drone work that they've done.
Yeah. Let's see. Quiet before the storm almost. Rastin pushing in from the front as well. All angles being covered. Really trying to get in and find those sneaky little openers. Lambe. Given the breathing space, is just going a little wander. Looking for some util. They're concerned. They're worried. They know that there might be other black eyes dotted about, giving that info to the side of GK. They want to remove that info and leave them a little bit blind. That's going to allow these pinches to hopefully come through a lot more coherently from Panahorne as well. Skyper. A little bit of rotation in basement. I do like it when we see this on Bank as well. People rotating through basement and just getting a little bit ratty with it.
Just a little bit, not so much.
Hint of rat.
And the question is, are they aware? Because 50 seconds are still left, and at some point, this execute needs to start getting some ground under its feet, and Rexon is the first to find the kill as Lambe walks into the side and instantly gets removed from it. Now they're on a man disadvantage, and the jump out comes in right afterwards. Lonely finds one as well, and it's just a Panahonu shutdown to come in. 30 seconds in a 5v1? It's just not gonna happen. He spots some toes, and once an EUL final was won by the toes, but that's not happening now. Lonely finds the head. A flawless round, and GK map point upon them.
It is great. Like 6-2 at the moment. 6-2. Disgusting. But again, it makes you kind of scratch your head a little bit towards Panahorne. This is the team that you have come so close to getting on the ropes at times, and you just can't secure it here on your best map when they're playing with a, you know, slight, I would say a hindrance, but it is again like they're not playing with Hungary, who would just be running at everyone with a shield.
You full on said it would be a shame for them if they weren't winning this. You said you were going to be nice to these teams.
I said it would be embarrassing. For
and then you said it would be like the shame bell, you know, like. And
then I did also say at the start like that I was going to be nice, and I've already kind of gone back
Yeah, so how did that go?
It's not going well, is it? It's not going well. It's a frustration point. I love the Panahorne lads. I think they have so much potential. This ain't it. I don't know what's happened this evening. I don't know what's going on, but goodness me. And again, maybe it on their side, it's a bit of the old burnout, maybe. Or is that just me huffing copium? We'll see.
Definitely
Again,
copium.
we can put it down to maybe just, okay, we've got these, you know, best of ones, and we're not going to deep sit too much.
Again, it is the best of ones, yes. And also, everybody is already inside the playoffs.
For context, last time these two went to bank, it was actually a 7-5 victory to Panahorne because it was during a best of 3 in Rainbow Rumble.
Well, you're telling me that they have actually won against GK?
They've won a map, but they didn't win the series.
Oh, okay.
So they
I was going to say, did Sham lie to me?
No, Sham didn't lie. It was a 2-1 win to GK, but it's a fact that, again, 7-5, it is one of your better maps. What is going on today, Panahorne? I do not know. Lots of silly sausage behaviors happening. Getting caught off guard by GK. GK having a field day, getting aggro. Gorgeous stuff there by Nick, though. Dealing with Skyper. And look at this. 2 players down. No trade to come out. This is great for Panahorne right now. And of course, being on that pulse is going to be able to feed a lot of information. So, yes, GK are slightly on a back foot here. They should have a fair bit of info to work with, but it's really going to be mostly focused around 1 or maybe even 2 of these players kind of repelling here. Yeah, okay, there we go. He's rotated to Archives. That's going to give a much clearer picture as to what's happening. And Packball is there dealing with Lambe. Sneaky, but gets the job done. Can he find a follow-up? Again, all they need is the information and they'll react like lightning.
But this is the thing, right? Like, Nick is still all the way off site. Raston is about to be repelling in. It's a 2-on-4. There's definitely some good opportunities here for the side of Panahorne. But if they are able to shut down this plant, which is going down imminently, Nisu goes down. There goes another. Raston the last alive in a 1v2 post plant. Are they aware of where he is? Well, they must be, considering the plant has gone down. And they're going to be teaming up on him. Gano gets him. And that is it. GK 7-2. And you are going from a 5-3 situation to being 2 left alive and a post-plant diffused. GK, with a substitute, well, you can almost say completely annihilate Panahorne. Hungry is officially dropped after this game.
No. I mean, really well played, though, again, from the substitute, but really well played by GK in general, because the way that these two are so back